Friday, July 18th, a little main event action. PFL Austin, Johnny Eblen with me today. Johnny, 2 weeks out. How we feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Just got done sparring today. Sean's in town helping me, pushing me. And yeah, dude, it's fucking going to war, man, and it's a lot of fun, but it's fucking hard. It's not for everybody. But I'm happy to get these hard rounds out of the way. I like to train harder. That way when I go in to fight, the fight night's easy.
So I was going to ask about Sean later in the interview, but I'm just going to ask about Sean now then because of
Might
the
as
segue.
well. I just got done fucking sparring him.
So what?
Let's
He
let's
came
get out of the
down to
way.
ATT.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He came out. I think he came out Saturday. Started training on Monday, and yeah, dude, we just been going at it. He's been doing the classes, and then we've been sparring Tuesdays and Thursdays, and yeah, dude, really happy to have him out here. Really, 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 really good sparring partner and just training partner in general, and we push each other and we get better.
I talked to, I think it was Daniel Rodriguez who I was talking to recently, and he said he's going to be sparring Strickland soon for his camp. And I was like, what's that like? And D Rod was like, bro, you just gotta you gotta bite down and prepare yourself. It's gonna be hard rounds. So is
Yeah,
that the case? That's what it's like sparring Sean.
it's hard rounds, but it's not just like being tough and just biting down and trading. It's like a chess match. You gotta play it smart, especially when you're going 5 rounds. And yeah, man, you have to be. It's a very fine line. Don't want to expend too much energy too soon, because then it'll take advantage. And like I said, it's a chess match. It's not just you know going out there and brawling. You have to be smart as well.
Obviously, I'm sure you saw Sean said he wants you to win this belt. Come to UFC, fight him for his belt. What are your thoughts on this?
Dude, that'd be amazing. I'm fighting for free right now, so just get some people and we'll put it on national television and we'll fight for a belt and for some money. I'm fucking down for that. I literally just got done fighting them just now. We'll put
May
on the
as well
4 ounce
put the belt on the
gloves and
line.
put a belt on there and let's fight for some money. Yeah, dude. Like at the end of the day, we're buddies, but you know, if push comes to shove, we're competitors too, and we would love to do that and make some money off that fight because we fight each other for free right now. So
And we'll get into your current fight and everything else, but just while we're talking Strickland and this, I'm curious, where do you rank yourself in that UFC middleweight pool? Are you right there, like number one contender behind
I
Sean?
think
You think?
I'm in the mix with the top three guys in the world. It's that's the tough part. Any guy can have their day. And it's all about coming prepared that day and being the better man that night. That's a tough thing about fighting. It's only one fight. Some of these other sports they do series and
Yeah,
you
best
might
of seven.
yeah best of seven and fighting's not like that. It's one night and you got to be prepared and you got to fight smart and some guys have the better nights and sometimes it's not your night. Um, but yeah, I think I'm one of the best fighters in the world and I want to fight everybody and want to prove it on the biggest stage. And right now I'm in PFL and I'm fighting, making the biggest fights I can over here and doing what I can. They're doing a great job at matchmaking and making, especially in the middleweight division, it's a lot more interesting now because I was steamrolling everybody and Costello came in, upset me, mixed up the division. We also added Brian Battle.
Mm-hmm.
Also, our first fight with or my first fight with Impa was pretty close, and we're getting that rematch. So the middleweight division, the PFL is very interesting, and a lot of these guys don't get the credit they deserve at the PFL. I think a lot of these middleweights, would compete in the UFC and do well.
With John Martin in charge of it all now, I mean, are you liking the direction PFL's going? You kind of just hinted at it there, but just from my perspective, talking to John, seeing what he's doing, I have a lot of faith in where the PFL's going. I'm wondering if you agree as a fighter.
Yes, absolutely. I think that John is a great leader and he's doing the right things over at the PFL. Um, and his head's not in the clouds. He's doing what should have been done at the beginning. He's cutting the fat. He's allowing people that have experience in the MMA scene to kind of run things. And my last fight, this San Diego card that I just went to,
Hmm.
it's ran much better. You can the matchmaking's great, the fights are great, um, and it's really reminding me of what I signed up for in Bellator, and I really like that because whenever we did get bought out by PFL and they had the tournaments and they were doing everything overseas and they were trying to make these big fights, they were trying to compete with the UFC, and it's like that's not what
Right.
this is. What we need to do is just make good fight or get the best fighters you can that aren't signed or that would be willing to come over and make big fights and make great fight cards and get fighters paid and do the best you can, with what you got, and don't have your heads in the cloud and try to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And I think that's what the old PFL regime was trying to do. They were trying to make something like different, but I think we kind of know the model that works,
Yes.
and it's putting fight cards that people are interested in and doing and doing the right type of matchmaking so people are watching exciting fights.
I asked John this, and I want to ask you because I'm curious about a fighter's perspective here. Obviously, like Usman Nurmagomedov is famously on his last PFL fight. Dakota Ditch of a megastar, she will eventually be contending for free agency. You, a megastar, Strickland's already trying to get you over to UFC. So, like, the question is not just PFL, but PFL, other promotions. How do they stand out and not only like attract stars, but also retain stars through free agency? Like, what's most appealing to you as a fighter?
For me, originally they were paying me better, and I ended up I had a good contract with them with Bellator, and I eventually became a champion, and I had a championship clause, so it extended my contract. And then during that extension, we got bought out. And originally, I didn't love the PFL when I was there. I was kind of a weird place where I did want to kind of test free agency
Mm-hmm.
and maybe move over, but then I lost. Weird. Life's really weird like that. It's like I felt like I was done with the PFL. I was done with this chapter of my life, but then Costello came in and upset me, and I really want to get that one back. I really want to be, a reigning champion in the PFL, and it makes up the division. I'm still making good money. I'm getting paid well, so I'm not upset with that. Um, but I have unfinished business, and I need to take care of that before I move on. And I don't know what's in store for me in my future, but I do want to fight the best guys in the world. I want to prove them that one of the best in the world, and I think taking care of this unfinished business first before I do anything else is the first thing I need to do. And
Well,
also, I need to prove to these motherfuckers that I'm better than Impa because some of these people think Impa won the first fight. He didn't. I won 2 rounds. He only won one. That's how fighting is. It's by rounds. It's not because, oh, he had a great second round. He doesn't win the fight just because you have one good round. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I need to finish in the PFL. And also, now that, it's kind of like ran how it was, how Bellator was. I really enjoy being there, and I think they're on the right direction. And I think keeping these promotions afloat and interesting, and having exciting fights is important for fighters because
yeah.
the more promotions, the better.
And you said you don't know what the future holds entirely yet, but we do know one, probably two fights for you coming up. So we'll talk about those at least. Impa Kasanganay, the rematch, as you've been talking about. We actually had you on Home of Fight last week with a different journalist. You talked about the fight. I've been seeing it everywhere. So not going to ask you a whole lot about this. I don't want to like beat it over the head, but you did have your first face off. I'm curious, like first impressions. How did that go down?
I mean, I know Impa. Me and him are cool.
Not the first time you
Um,
met, obviously. Yeah.
no, no, no. Like we're he's just he's a good dude. There's nothing that I'd take away from a face off or anything. He's just another fighter. looking to compete and become a champion. Great fighter, great dude. I'm looking forward to running it back because he's a tough challenge. He's not just some guy I can walk through. So I'm very excited to go back out there and prove myself again that I'm better.
Now, any part of you that's saying, I need a finish to really to really feel better about this rematch, or is a win a win? You don't care.
I mean, if I dominate them all five, does that really matter?
Good point. Yeah.
You're beating the shit out of somebody for 5 rounds. It doesn't matter if you finish them or not. I don't really think too much about it. But I will say that I think I'm getting better at identifying when there's a finish present and taking advantage of it. But at the end of the day, I'm here to win fights and fight smart and do what I can to get my hand raised at the end of the night.
And I didn't even write this down. I just thought about this as you were talking. Impa trains at Killcliff along with Van Steenis too. So just some extra oomph to the storyline there, I guess. Is that unification fight the only fight that makes sense next?
I mean, that fight was the only fight that made sense prior to Impa, but he got hurt. He wanted to I just think he wanted to push the fight later in the year. Um, we get little injuries all the time. Guys fight injured all the time. I do, at least.
MMA,
Sean
man.
does.
Yeah.
Sean does. Sean got hurt fight week and fought with a separated shoulder. Um, it's part of the sport. You have to fight on the timeline that was originally, given to you. And if you just want to push it, don't sign the contract in the first place. Um, but anyway, I forgot what question. What?
I just said is the unification fight the only fight
Oh,
that makes sense?
unification.
But
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course
yeah.
it is.
That's
But of
that's the
course it
only
is.
fight. That was the only fight that fucking I wanted at first. But I'm also not going to sit here and wait. I'm
Right.
not going to wait for fights to come to me. I like it's the fight I want, but it's like at the end of the day, I need to put food on the table. I'm only going to be fighting for so long. I need to stay active. And if he doesn't want to fight right now, okay, fine. I'll find somebody else that wants to fight me right now. And Impa's a guy. He stepped up, and I'm ready to scrap.
While I was preparing for this interview, I obviously went to Van Steenis' Instagram page just to see what he's been up to and all that. Two things stuck out to me, and I'm sure you've noticed as well. One, I think it was 2 days before the fight was called, he posted a photo of him head kicking you, saying, "You are fucked," hashtag bitch. 2 days before the fight got called. Then I go to his tagged photos, see, like, has anyone been tagging him and stuff? I don't know what extent he's training, but he is, like, in the gym with partners looking sweaty. So, have you this, like, what are your thoughts on that and the timing and just all of it?
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck. I
Fair.
literally don't pay attention.
That's my job.
But that's interesting. Yeah, that's your job, and thanks for telling me that because seems like he can train. Seems like he could fight. Seems like he just wants to buy some more time to get better because he knows I'm fucking better than him. But the problem is I'm getting better too, and I'm fighting with the best guys in the world, and he's not. So he's fucked. He knows he had the moment. He's trying to fucking push it. He's trying to milk it, and he can go get fucked for all I care. Whatever, dude. I'm out here. I'm fighting Impa. I'm taking the fights that I signed, and I'm fucking showing up. He didn't show up. He got hurt, but he's still training. So whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't give a fuck about that, dude. I'm just worried about myself getting better every day and staying active.
And my last question, just for clarity, obviously we talked about the unification fight, but you said you don't want to wait around. So it is important for you. If all goes well against Impa, you come out unscathed. You want that Van Steenis fight quick, right?
I mean, whenever PFL wants to make it, and sure, yeah, yeah, that's obviously the next one. But I mean, if he gets hurt again, like, well, I don't know what the fuck, like, what other fight you gonna make? So it's literally the only fight you can. It's the biggest fight you can make in the PFL.
Totally agreed. I'm very excited for this Impa fight, just as a fan, but Van Steenis and yourself is absolutely the fight to make. Johnny, I appreciate the time as always, man. Before I get you out of here, anything to all your fans before this title fight?
Guys, just tune in July 18th, Austin, Texas. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited to put on a show and take someone's head off.
Better outro than I can give right there. July 18th, Johnny Eblen, big middleweight title on the line. Johnny, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, man.